Hey, everybody. It is Freedom Friday. Yay. It is a week 11. We are just rolling through this training, and it's been just an exciting time together. Grateful for it. And so today we're going to dive into success and how success leaves clues. And I bet if you were to look over the past 10 weeks and into your business now, others will be able to see some clues about your success. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we've done so far. We're going to do some spiral review, and then we're going to dive into where do we go from here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And I am super excited for you and this experience. And hopefully you can see my graphic now. Let me slide myself to the side so that I'm out of the way. And there is our fun Going for Gold banner. And I hope that you guys are sharing this with your teammates and others around you so that they can come and take part in this great training. And like I said, we're going to get started on talking about clues and what our success has done for us. Now, I bet when you have looked around or you have thought about other situations or other direct sales opportunities that people have had, you have either thought, gee, that was successful for them, or maybe that wasn't. Or maybe perhaps you have taken part in some of the podcasts or listened to some great speakers that have been around that you have really been able to glean some knowledge from. And of course, their success has left clues for you. And you can usually see how someone is working their business by the clues that they leave. So I love this quote from Tony Robbins, and he is someone, if you have not taken part in any of his podcasts or webinars or seminars or conferences, he is just really a very positive speaker and someone who really empowers people to do and exceed probably what they never thought that they could do. And so he is noted for saying, long ago, I realized that success leaves clues and that people who produce outstanding results do specific things to create those results. I believe that if I precisely duplicated the actions of others, I could reproduce the same qualities of results that they have had. And that is so true in life. We do not need to recreate the wheel, right? There's another man who very well known named Brad Thor, and he has been noted to say success leaves clues, and if you sow the same seeds, you'll reap the same rewards. And so that is what we've been really trying to take part in this Going for Gold business. We have Linda and Sherry and I have really gone out and researched and brought you what we felt was the best menu for you to take part in. And we've also included a lot of our successes and even things that we needed to grow in, areas that we needed to grow in. Of course, our failures, they do not set us back. We fail forward, right, in those things. That's sometimes how we learn the most, is through the things that we have not had success in. So we have been hoping to share those things with you to make life just a little easier. We definitely don't want to work harder, right? We want to just work smarter. And why drudge it all out yourself when you can just lock arms with others that have done it and move forward in that? So I think that that's something that's really powerful. So if you're looking around, you can say, well, success leaves clues. So who has already done what you desire to do in life? You can just look around, right? Some are just a phone call or a text away. Those could be your mentors, the consultants that are on teams that you're seeing, getting these great incentives or whatever, and you're just seeing that their business is thriving. Your upline, right? You also can look to this Going for Gold and look for an accountability partner. They have already done what you've done, right? That's going to be a great help to you when you exit this program. You're going to be able to say, you know what, this person went through this with me. They know exactly what we learned. They went through all of the same trainings as we did and had the same expectations and worked the same type of business. I'm going to lock arms with these people because they know what it feels like and how to move forward. And we're in this together, right? There's also outside sources, podcasts, webinars, conferences, right? And we also know that there's lots of books out there, and we know that readers are leaders. They definitely are. Readers are leaders. So basically, everything in life, everything that you desire to do has been done by somebody before, right? Whether it be losing weight, whether it be exercise regimen, financial security, whatever. There is someone in your sphere of influence that has done it before. And if you're not sure who would be there to help you in the best way, put a shout out to one of these people that are that know you best, that know who you would work with best, right? Ask to shadow people. Ask to maybe even go to, if you have someone locally, maybe go together and do some shows together, or join them online for some of their online parties and be their guest hostess. There's so many different ways to continue to grow your business, and we've shown you so many different avenues in which to go as far as hostess coaching and what to do with social media, how to prospect, how to work your communication skills. All of those things, they all work together for good. All right, so let's go into this next quote. It says, the best way to achieve your outcome is to act as if you have already achieved it. And that is the next biggest thing that I can mention to you that really, really helps to achieve those goals. Live your dreams now and let your reality catch up with you. I can remember being in high school, and there I would sit in, it was a government class, and I wish I had spent a little more time paying attention probably in my government class at the time. I've definitely played a lot of catch up with that over the last few years. But I remember dazing off, and there were these silent teachers, on the wall, those posters. And one of them said, act the way you want to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. And part of me thought, well, that's kind of fake. I don't really want to pretend or be an actress. I want to be, genuine. So I never really understood what that meant, but it goes a lot deeper. It goes a lot deeper into that we sometimes in our mindsets, right? And we've talked a lot about that over the past few weeks. Our mindset kind of creates what our reality is. We only know what we know. It's what we've experienced. And so our brain likes to fill in the gaps of what is actually going to happen next. And so when we've lived a life of negativity, or we lived a life of maybe some things or behaviors or activities that maybe we aren't so happy with, our mind loves to just remind us of those things and wants to kind of fill in the present to the future. And we need to retrain our brain in those ways. And what that means is to have a positive mindset, because it's not that you really need to act a certain way. It's just that you need to activate what is already in you that is great and mighty and can become what you desire to be. And so once I started to think about that a little more, it made more sense. There's this great story that I had read about in a book. And if you haven't read The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, he is wonderful. And what he's done, and I'll just kind of hold that up here, this book right here, this gentleman went and researched all these top performing people over years, a spread of years, and he takes each individual principle that they have kind of lived by and compiled them into this book. And I do a lot of teaching out of it because I think it's very powerful. In fact, he is the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. So if you guys like that, that's kind of the way that it's presented. He has a lot of personal stories in there of achievements of people. And they really, because they're connected to people, they're not just him saying, do this. He gives an example, and I love that. So again, readers are leaders, and if I could recommend a book, and we're going to be recommending more to you, the Success Principles, How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be by Jack Canfield, and he is a New York Times bestseller. So at any rate, one of his principles actually happened to be act as if. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I already am thinking about this. I've already been studying this out. Let me see what he has to say. And he has this great story here. And I'm going to read it to you. It says, the first time I noticed this phenomenon was when I was at my local bank. There were several tellers working there, and I noticed that one in particular always wore a suit and a tie. Unlike the other two male tellers who just wore a shirt and a tie, this young man looked like an executive. A year later, I noticed he had been promoted to his own desk where he was taking loan applications. 2 years later, he was a loan officer, and later he became the branch manager. I asked him about this one day, and he replied that he always knew he would be a branch manager. So he studied how the manager dressed and started dressing that way. He studied how the manager treated people and started interacting with people the same way. He started acting as if he were a branch manager long before he ever became one. And I think that that's super powerful. And I do remember back to when I joined Magnabilities, I already had what I wanted to achieve in mind. So I have always been told, especially by my dad, you just project, he would say. You project, Melody. You need to live in the moment. And there is some truth to that. We do need to live in the moment, enjoy the moment. And that's something that I have actively had to work at and still currently am working at that. But with that, projecting has actually helped me, because when I joined Magnabilities, I did not see myself as a consultant. I knew what I wanted to achieve. I acted as though I was already a gold manager. I set up my trainings with my downline, even when there was only one or two, as though I was a gold manager. I sent out emails or text or had little group calls or meetings with them as though I was a gold manager. And as a result of that, because I acted the part and activated what was already in me. Remember, it's not acting as in acting like an actress. It's activating what is already in you. And because of that, I do feel with that and just the blessings that I have received from it, I just kind of move forward. And again, reality did catch up with me. And so I just want to encourage you in that. So if you have not achieved what you wanted to achieve so far in this program, act as if, and you will. Right? So visualize your future self and start acting as if you're already there. Okay? All right. So speaking of which, when we started our training, way back in that first month, one of our first trainings had to do with our graphics. And we did send these home with you. You had that dry erase board, and I sure do hope that you took out these sheets of paper, you put them in that dry erase board, or that dry erase sheet, that protector, and you were writing on that to just document where you are and what you've been doing along this journey, okay? And remember, we did not start out with the Gold Consultant model graphic. I had that there for you to look at, and you can certainly work off both documents. But remember, I told you, bring out that Gold Manager, and we're going to work backwards. We are going to act as if. And remember, I said, we're going to talk about the power of 5, okay? And that's because we want to take that top line, and we know that with a Gold Consultant, we only do need 3 active legs on that top line, our level 1, and that will make us as long as they're each active with 400 PV or more, and we have 700 PV, we will be a Gold Consultant. What is the problem with that? Is that we don't know if each one of those legs are going to stay active, and we want to be fortified. Remember, we talked about that fancy word, and that happens to be in one of our next slides. We wanted to fortify that. So remember, I said we're going to do 5, the power 5. We're going to do 5 at the top, get them across so that we can guarantee that at least 3 of those legs are going to be active. And then we're going to repeat. Remember, wash, rinse, repeat. So here's that graphic again about growing those willow trees and the oak trees. We don't want to just grow one or the other. This was another concept that we talked about. The willow trees are what we're going to grow wide. Remember that 5 across, those are your willows. They have shallow roots, and we're going to want to grow wide. And then once we've hit 5, we want to try for another 5. And then we want to try for another 5, right? Because at that gold manager level, remember, we have the requirement of 5 active legs. So again, we always want to have more than what is needed. Okay, that way we are safe. And so as willow trees, we want to grow wide. And then the oak trees, we want to grow deep. Because remember, anyone in those legs can make that entire leg active regardless of what level they're on. They could be level 1, 2, 3, all the way the knee, the ankle, or the foot. Okay? And so remember, oak and willow trees. I want you to tuck that away in your brain. And you're going to be soaking it up and squeezing it out on your downline. Okay, and so then we had this next graphic. Remember, you're going to create those 2 gold consultants on the sides. Well, they can be anywhere actually in that top 5 group of 5. And those gold consultants, and we know, are 3 active legs. And you're basically just reproducing yourself, okay? So we are working backwards from this visual. And again, we are going to act as if. So many of you have actually accomplished the gold consultant level, and you are working on adding more across the front. And now those that you have had join your team, you're pouring into them. They're in the Fast Start program, or else they are getting ready to go into this program the next round. And that's how we do it. We soak it up and we squeeze it out. All right, and here's that word that we were talking about, our fortify, that verb. Remember, it's action. And what does that mean? It's to protect, to strengthen, to surround, and provide with defense and resources. Our defense is that we're going to continue to make sure that they know where they are, trying to avoid any problems. We have that sheet that I put out regarding monitoring their PV, which is actually a slide that's coming up here, and also with the resources that are out there, whether it be the Resource Center, going onto the group pages, taking part in the mentorship of those that are above them, and of course there's the ambassador page, and then there's this going for gold. All right, so we want to make sure that we fortify, because when you do not fortify, it's a waste of time to have someone join your team that you're not supporting and encouraging, because they will not last. They will not last, right? Okay, so here's that graphic. Remember, this is what's going to help us to fortify, and this is what's going to help us to provide that defense. We're going to look at their PV, and we have learned a lot over the weeks on how to go back in that back office, and we've learned how to navigate through there and figure out where people's PV is, and what the rolling 3 months is. And remember, that rolling 3 months is very important, because if they have 1,000 PV in the current month they're in, plus the 2 previous months they are active, and a lot of times people do not reach their next level because they are not looking at that rolling 3 months. It's very, very powerful. All right, so use this graphic once again to monitor your legs each and every month. And I encourage you to print it out. Also, you can put this in one of those dry erase sheets that allow you to write on the outside of it so that you can change it each month. And it's just a great resource to help you support your team. All right. And remember, the other way to help fortify that team is to do the I do, we do, you do method, right? I'm going to do it first. I'm going to show you. We're going to do it together, and then you're going to do it on your own. And you're going to help encourage them to be independent in their business, but you're also going to come alongside them as part of a resource for them once they get it up and going. You're going to continue that communication, but what you will be is someone on the back and kind of just cheering them on, celebrating their successes, and being there with a listening ear, right? Okay, now here we are, week 11, and we're about to exit this amazing program, and you're going to be out doing all of these exciting things on your own, right? It's not going to just end on your 12th week, not at all. Remember, it's going for gold, going. You're going to continue to go. And if whatever you have accomplished in the past so far is and up to where you are now, that is going to be represented as huge growth for you. So do not discount it. I was explaining to the girls the other day that one of my years of teaching, I had a first grade student come in, and he was actually from Florida, and he had never attended kindergarten. So he came into my classroom, and did not even know the difference between a letter and a number. Not only that, his parents were Spanish speaking, so I had a really hard time communicating with him, and he wasn't getting the assistance that he needed at home. And then I had children in my classroom that were already reading, short stories or whatever. And so there was this huge gap. But honestly, by the end of that first grade year, the person that had done the most growth in there was that young man who had come from Florida. And so that is something to be celebrated. It's not to look at the other people around you and say, well, they're here and they're there. Look at your individual growth, okay? Don't worry about anybody else, because it could be that you made the biggest growth you've ever made, and maybe you made more growth than anybody. Maybe the mere fact that you even joined this and went through the program and finished it was huge growth for you. Maybe you had never gone live. Maybe you had never even offered the opportunity to anyone before. Who knows? I don't want you looking out at anybody else. I want you looking at you and your growth. Where did you start and where did you end? And you need to celebrate that. And it's not over yet, right? Maybe that was just the time where we were just planting seeds for you, and someone's going to come along and water, and you're just going to bloom, and it's going to happen outside of this, right? All right, so where do we go from here? Well, we have some exciting things for you guys. The first thing that I want to say is that you have the opportunity to wash, rinse, and repeat. We are going to keep this group open for you for the next 3 months, and the best teacher is repetition. Okay, so if you need to go back and rewatch something, or you rush through because there were so many different graphics and so many different videos to watch, you just really couldn't sit down and dive in, well, it's available to you. You are able to go back and rewatch whatever you felt you needed to have some repetition in. And maybe there were some areas where you're like, you know what? I think this is going to apply to me at some point, but it doesn't apply now, so I'm not really invested in it. So I might need to watch this later. Well, that's going to be available for you too. And you're going to be able to help others by pouring into them. The best way to learn is by showing others as well, and by doing. All right. And so another thing that we have set up for you is we have this awesome alumni thing set up. I'm so excited. The Going for Gold alumni, that is you. And what we are going to be giving you over the next 3 months is an open forum group. So the group that you're currently in right now, it's going to be open, which means you're going to be able to post in there and ask questions. It's just going to be actively working. You can go back and watch things and respond or whatever, and we'll be in there to help out and stuff and respond to anything that you have questions about. Okay. The other thing is that you're going to have 3 mentor calls available to you, and you can choose whoever you want. Maybe you want to use your 3 mentor calls opportunities with someone that you didn't have a chance to mentor with this last 3 months, and you can take that time to have some calls with them. Maybe you want to just have one mentor call with each one of us each month, and you can spread it out over the next 3 months. It's up to you, but we're always available to you. As you know, I am personally your upline, okay? All of you. Sherry is many of your upline. She's under me as a mentor underneath me. She's on my team as well. And then Linda's on my team as well. So some of you are on Linda's team. So you have Linda as your upline and me. You have so much available to you, and you can reach out at any time. Of course, we want to divert you first to your direct sponsor. That is who you want to go to out of respect and out of kind of following that chain of command, right? But we're all here for you. So we're also offering an opportunity call. I believe it's once a month, and it's going to be something that we've kind of are working on currently, and it will be offered for our next Going for Gold round that comes through. But guess what? As an alumni of Going for Gold, you are always available, or the opportunity is available to you, I should say, to join those opportunity calls at any time, okay? You just can come on, you can see how it's done, or you can just invite someone in that is going to benefit from it. There's a lot of benefit to having third-party resources. So what happens is it validates your involvement in something. So you might say, and it's just a testimony thing, you might say, hey, this is an incredible opportunity, this, and this, and you're going to explain all the benefits of Magnabilities, and you're going to use your best communication style with them. But if you'd like some more information, we have an opportunity call, and it kind of takes it out of your hands and lets somebody else explain it. And there's a lot of success in those third-party tools, okay? It just reinforces and shows when they get on, because it's going to be a Zoom call, it's going to show that there's other people that are just as excited about that opportunity as them. And there's something to that charisma and that camaraderie that kind of brings excitement, you know. So I encourage you to take advantage of those. And then the next thing we're going to have in our 3-month open forum group, which is the current Going for Gold group that you're in, is enrichment. We're going to have a book club. So each month, Sherry, Linda, and myself and I are going to be reading a book along with you, and you can we're going to let you know what book that is, and you're going to be able to get that book from Amazon, or if you want to use the audio version, you can do that. We suggest probably getting it from Amazon if you like to highlight in that, and we're going to go through a book with you. And we've got a few already picked out, and I'll let them share with you what theirs are, and I'll share with you what mine is a little later. But it'll be a great resource for you. And remember, readers are leaders. If you look across society or across the success grids that are out there, you're going to see that those that have risen to the top, and this gentleman mentions it, they're reading. They are reading. They're continuing to grow and learn and better themselves. And it's not just for Magnabilities. Many people will say that they did not just grow in their business, but they grew as a person. And I know that to be true because it's helped me not just in my business relationships, but it's helping me in personal relationships as well. All right, and the last one is going to be access to the archived group, and that's going to actually happen after that 3-month open forum happens. All right, so ladies, we have so many great things prepared for you, and I just want to encourage you as our Maggie sisters and brothers that we are here to support you. We are not going anywhere. We want to help it to be a smooth transition for you. And plus, some of you are going to have your downline, because remember, we were working backwards and now you're growing some gold consultants too. That's your goal. And we're hoping that by you being in this alumni group, you're going to be able to be an active part of their growth within Going for Gold. And that's pretty much all that we have for today for you. I want to leave you with this. Don't wait for someone to take you under their wing. Find a good wing and climb up underneath it. And so I know many of you through faith have climbed up underneath a real good wing, but also we have so many people in our community and in our business and in our company that are willing to support and love on you and encourage you in all that you dream to be. All right. And I'm cheering you on, and I just want to celebrate with you. Celebrate with yourself. Treat yourself to something special. You deserve it. You've done a lot of hard work. We have one more week. Next week, we are going to talk about living the mission, and you're all doing it. You are all doing it. And we're going to talk about what our company has to offer as far as tangible things and just some ways to achieve it. Okay, so you take care for this week. I hope you have a great weekend and happy Freedom Friday.